Let's just jump right into this Bloomberg report. You can go to the URL here, bloomberg.com/graphics 2019 Tesla Model 3 survey, or just Google it. You'll be able to get to this report. I love the way it's laid out, just super interactive, easy. 5,000 Tesla owners told us what Elon Musk got right and wrong. Quality and reliability, part 1, put out just a couple days ago. Shout out to Tom Randall for putting the work in on this. The largest survey of Tesla owners ever conducted. And I like how we're sort of at this mainstream tipping point. Now more than 350,000 of these cars on the roads. Clearly people know about the early effects complaint early on, a little bit of issues with the paint, whole panel gap things. I like how they explain this. These flaws became a point of fixation for the electric automakers' critics and a source of frustration for some owners. Depending on whom you ask, Tesla had just turned out one of the best made cars in the world or one of the worst. So they had all of these owners, 5,000 of them, fill out a 164 item questionnaire, an amazing amount of data that they gathered. So now let's take a look at part 1, which itself explores reliability, performance, design, and features. So this is the major stat that they led the article with, and it is perhaps the most bullish and most telling of what's going on. Defects per 100 vehicles within the first 30 days of ownership. How many owners reported defects? We have minor issues, major issues. As you can see, these were pretty steady at about 74 in the 70s and 80s, 70s and 80s every single month in 2018, and then actually hitting a high of 100.1 issues, 101 issues per car in early 2019. This is when they started international deliveries of the Model 3, so that could have caused that sort of a rush in Q1 2019. But since then, as they figured out how to manufacture the car better and better, we've seen month-over-month improvements down to about 35 issues per 100 cars. And so now I want to put that in context for what that means in terms of the industry, because this record of 35 issues per 100 cars in September 2019 is potentially one of the best in the industry. And if you take a look at JD Power and Associates, who has one of the most similar surveys, although it's over a first 90-day period. This Tesla one is a 30-day period, so keep that in mind. So it might not be an apples to apples comparison perfectly, but the industry average reported an average of 91 problems per 100 cars in 2019. Remember, Tesla now, as of September, is only 35 issues per 100 cars. And you might say, oh, in those next 60 days, there might be a bunch more issues reported, so we have to adjust that Tesla number up a little bit. But I think even so, we've seen Tesla go from having clearly more issues reported per car than the industry average to significantly below in the past year and a half. This means at the factory level, at the manufacturing level, and Tesla's been talking about this in their quarterly reports, they keep getting better at quality control, at making the perfect cars and improving on all these little tweaks. I mean, the Model 3 was an entirely new vehicle program in 2017, ramping up to hundreds of thousands of units. That is an incredible manufacturing, operation and feat, and it is extremely rapid growth. And you sort of think the amount of pressure that Tesla had to ramp up their deliveries so quickly early on arguably caused them to make all these errors that led to these problems with the cars. But since then, now that production has been smoothed out, they've gotten much better at it. We're clearly seeing those issues per cars delivered go down significantly and become the best in the industry. Here they break down the defects by different categories. I think the exterior sort of panel gap things and paint were clearly the main one. Then we have interior, far less than half of the average complaints. Electronics and climate, drive system, and brake chassis seem to be the best performing aspect of the cars. The panels had paint issues. The rear trunk is misaligned. Once again, this has been the core of the sort of beef, the exterior defects here. But if we take a look at these, the trend in these is also going down as well. And then I love this sort of, they sort of kind of use this AI like sorting by tag thing to show you guys some of the most popular complaints. Paint chips, cracks, crack in the rear windshield, 3 small scratches on the paint when delivered, scratch on chrome trim. So it looks like a little minor things. Basically, paint chips and panel gap alignment appear to be the main exterior issues from Tesla's cars, but once again, getting better. On the interior, we've also seen, this is much less complaints than the exterior, but a significant decrease in the rate of those complaints. Also a good thing. I guess a lot of scratches, it looks like, window trim, doors rattling. You can check these out on your own time if you want to go through them more. Then they go through electronics and climate defects. These were some of the most, Tesla's strong point. B-pillar cameras need to be replaced. Not too much important here. drive and chassis defects. And the main thing I wanted to show you guys with this is the rate of issues over time in all of these categories has been declining significantly. That meaning not just, overall is Tesla getting better, but even when you drill down, every single category is showing strong improvements in terms of quality control. So I think this is a really, really encouraging sign that Tesla's getting better and better.